Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for clicking a new video, man. It means a lot to you guys. Keep clicking. If you guys keep clicking, I'll keep making. And today, we're talking about this episode 4 of Survivor 44. I mean, it is a great tribal specifically, but really a great episode overall. And what I think is overall the best episode so far in this season. And we really, again, have Carolyn to thank for. I mean, so much chaos with fake idols being found. So let's get into it. If you haven't already, like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff because it's free, it's easy, and it really does help the channel out. Okay, so the episode starts with us seeing a scene where Josh talks about how he's in the middle of these two pairs, and he feels like he's in power on this green tribe. He thinks that the two pairs, of course, are Danny and Heidi, and then the couple of Matt and Franny. And what he doesn't know is the tribe kind of has come together against him as they see him as not trustworthy. And so he's in big trouble. And then we move over to the purple tribe where everyone kind of goes to the idol cage, which again, Carolyn has the real idol, but they have no idea about that. They've just kind of given up on looking. And we see a red X made of sticks put on the idol cage. And it's very mysterious, and the players are like, what's going on? Like, we don't know what to look for. Should we look for an idol? Should we look for like a red X somewhere? Should we like take the red X off the cage and do something with it? And now we of course get the full story, which is that Carolyn put it there, and then she hid an idol basically right in the middle of camp, and she marked the idol with a red X made by sticks. She also put that red X on the idol cage to get people's attention. So it is a very smart plan here. The question is, was it worth doing? Like, what does she really get out of it? Because in the end, we do see Sarah put the pieces together and she finds the fake idol. Now, this fake idol has absolutely no power, but I think it does give Carolyn a ton of power because it eases Sarah's nerves, and it almost gives Sarah a false sense of power and safety. So definitely a good move on Carolyn's part. We then go to a challenge where the winners get to select who goes on the journey, and the journey this time is very important on. And in the end, after all is said and done, Jamie, Carson, and Josh are picked to go on the journey. They go and they both basically split up once they get to the top of the mountain, and they each get a temporary idol that lasts until everyone is on the same beach. Now, I really think that this is important that they didn't say merge here. They said when everyone is on the same beach. Maybe they'll have like an earn the merge thing, and so then it'll still work in that round. Or maybe they'll have a round where one person is on exile, and then of course it would still work in that round. So I think that they're doing this on purpose to give themselves a bit of a loophole in a way to have the idol last longer than just the pre-merge. But really, as far as we know, this is a pre-merge idol, and the reason that they all get this idol is because they're all getting swapped. So Carson is now on the Ratu beach, the orange tribe, and we also see Josh on the purple tribe, and then we also see Jamie go onto the green tribe. So they're all swapped here. Josh is in trouble immediately because he lied about his profession. He tells them that he's a physical trainer, and so it's very bad for Josh right off the bat, just like his last tribe. As far as Carson, he immediately makes friends with Gathew, who does a really kind of aggressive and assertive job of trying to be friends with him. He immediately tells Carson, sits him down, and kind of mafioso style tells him tons of info to try and just gain his trust in like a brute force type of way. I don't know if it worked, as we never really heard Carson say anything, but he tells Carson about Jamie's idol, and he tells Carson that it's real, and also that Brandon will play the idol on the first night. And so very big info to be giving out, so he definitely wants Carson on his side, and we'll just have to see if that backfires on Gathew or not. And then over on Jamie's tribe, there's not much strategy going on. She's just kind of portrayed as like being a very active personality and very high-strung person. She has tons of energy, and I think that's like going to be her character, just a less entertaining Carolyn. Also on the green tribe, we see them look through Jamie's bag because they all want to stick together, so they need to know that Jamie doesn't have an idol, and so they look through the bag. Danny is the one who brings it up and actually does it while they all stand and watch. It may come back to burn Danny. Of course, they don't find anything, but Matt is still suspicious and says that she may have something on her person of value. So it's not for sure. And we do see Danny explain that it didn't feel very nice, but that's part of the game. At the immunity challenge, we see Tika lose, and so of course the purple tribe has to go to tribal again. And it's really just Carolyn, Jam Jam, Sarah, and Josh. So it's a very small tribe here, but the strategy does not disappoint. Okay, so when they all get back to camp, we immediately have a bit of a tiff here. We kind of realize that Jam Jam and Carolyn have a bit of a tougher relationship where Carolyn's very emotional and she can get offended sometimes by the words that Jam Jam uses. And Jam Jam is not very careful about how he speaks. For an example, when they get back and they're like, hey, we're all voting out Josh, obviously. He says that he thinks Josh will vote for him and he says, Carolyn, don't get offended. He says, well, I'm the biggest threat, so Josh has to vote for me. Carolyn does not like this at all. She gets angry, in more of a passive aggressive type of way. And then Jam Jam gets frustrated because he's like, what? All I said was that I'm the biggest threat here and people perceive me as the best player on this tribe, which by the way is 100% true. But when you're dealing with someone like Carolyn, you can't say stuff like that. That's just the reality of the situation. And this basically single conversation causes Carolyn to kind of snap, and she wants to flip on them. She goes to Josh, tells him that is happening, and basically that she wants to flip on them. Josh is down, and it's funny, the next thing that we see is Sarah and Jam Jam going to Josh and saying the exact same thing, basically trying to flip on Carolyn, saying that she's too emotional, and Josh says, I'm down as well. So Josh is all of a sudden in a great spot here. The question is, are either groups telling Josh the truth? And the reality is, only one of them is actually sincere here. Okay, so now that Josh has, heard both offers from each side, he goes to Carolyn and says, hey, they're actually going to blindside you here. So I'm going to play my idol that only works until merge on you, which of course, as the viewer, you're saying, what the hell? But of course, what he's been told is that, of course, Sarah and Jam Jam are flipping on Carolyn, and he wants Carolyn as an ally. But of course, it's between Josh playing it on himself and Josh playing it on Carolyn here. And Carolyn is deciding whether or not to tell Josh, hey, play it on yourself or play it on me, and then they'll all just vote Josh. Because in reality, Jam Jam and Sarah are not flipping on Carolyn. They're actually voting to get Josh out. So it's either Josh plays it on himself and then his vote will decide who goes home, or Josh plays it on Carolyn and gets blindsided here. At Tribal, we of course see Josh play it for himself because apparently Carolyn told him last second that the votes were going on him. He plays it, and then both him, meaning Josh, and Carolyn vote for Sarah. And Sarah actually doesn't even play her fake idol that she found earlier in the episode, which I think was stupid. Like, obviously it's fake, it doesn't matter, but if it was real, we would all be roasting her right now for basically going home after she knows she's on the bottom of the tribe for not playing it. But of course she doesn't, and she goes home here as both Carolyn and Josh vote for her to go home, and it's a 2-0 vote, where the 2 Josh votes from Sarah and Jam Jam are negated. Jam Jam is now in a tough spot here, but I think he'll do just fine in rebounding as long as he can get back in Carolyn's good graces. But what do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comments. As always, none of this happens without you guys, and that's what I'll talk to you guys in the next one.